Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome back to the prison cell. I actually posted a picture of my setup over on my social media accounts, that being my Instagram, my Twitter page, and you guys said it looked like a prison cell, so we're rocking with it because, quite frankly, I got on pretty good terms with the warden. I was able to, get the PlayStation up in here. Unfortunately, I had a suitcase in the NBA Jam machine, so if you don't know what suitcasing is, do not look it up. If you do know what it means, ouch. Yeah, man. So, okay, for today's video, though, we are going to be talking about the Boston Celtics Milwaukee Bucks series because, damn, it's about to be exciting, man. So, like, straight up, both these teams absolutely took care of business in the first round. I will say, I think we all expected the Milwaukee Bucks to beat down the Chicago Bulls just because, well, the Bulls were dealing with, injuries and COVID and things like that, but also they shown that they were not able to beat the top teams during the regular season. More so on the Celtics side of things, I don't think anybody expected Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to get swept, man. Now, I understand, recognizing that the Nets, despite having that superstar talent, maybe wasn't as good as people thought they were going to be. But to straight up sweep Kevin Durant, that's absolutely crazy. I think it pays a lot of credit towards that Boston Celtics defense. So yeah, before we get going on the discussion today, I want to remind you guys to please subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm really trying to grow this platform, grow this series here, and your subscription really does mean the world to me, man. And obviously, also like the video if you are enjoying the content, man. So thank you all so much for that. But alrighty. So, let's talk about the overall matchup, and I think to do that first, we have to look at kind of the elephant in the room, which is injuries to both sides. Let's start with the minor one first, that being Robert Williams. So, obviously, Robert Williams is back playing. He came off the bench, in the last game against the Brooklyn Nets, but it's still the intensity of playoff basketball and everything like that, where I do think having this additional days off really is going to help him with his conditioning, just getting back, in practice and with the swing of things. I think he's going to be completely fine. I expect him to start against the Milwaukee Bucks, but I could also see, too, where, hey, this lineup was kind of working, man, and Daniel Tice was out there knocking down the shots, and switchability was good and everything like that, among the entire Celtics team, leading to them being one of the greatest defensive units I've seen in recent memory. So I could see them kind of doing that, especially kind of, taking care of Giannis and things where it's like, okay, we'll just have Tice go out there and see what he can do with Giannis. If things get bad, we'll go ahead and we'll put Robert Williams in the game, and that should be good to go. But I do expect him to start. Now, on the other side of things, you got to look at Chris Middleton. So Chris Middleton has officially been ruled out for this series, and I will say, man, Chris Middleton is actually one of my more favorite players in the NBA. I love how he carries himself on the court, but the way he does that, it kind of leads to maybe people not always understanding just how valuable he is to the Milwaukee Bucks squad. Because, when I used to play not really so much pickup basketball, man, just in little rec leagues and stuff like that. And every 17 games, I would have a decent game where I would knock down a few 3-point shots, and people would say, yo, Crispy, you can smile about it. But personally, I like to act like I've been there before, man. I feel like it's disrespectful when people would cheer for me and stuff like that and be like, oh, I didn't expect that guy to make a jump shot. So that's how I carry myself. And, Chris Middleton obviously is, I don't think he ever had that problem growing up. Whenever Chris Middleton made a buck, people were like, yeah, this dude's going to the NBA. But the composure of, you look at that box score, you're like, yo, Middleton got 25 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. When that happened, kind of like that, silent assassin type of mentality. I absolutely love that in NBA players, man. Just go out there and take care of business. But unfortunately, he's not going to be out there to take care of business. And while this Bucks team, they got some decent depth at certain positions, I think they are really, really going to miss him against a team that, while they're, while the Celtics are great defensively, also do not undermine what they're capable of doing offensively, right? But let's go ahead and talk about the matchups. So, once again, we're going to assume that Robert Williams is in the starting lineup because we go through this real quick here, man. But yeah, the first matchup, we got the point guard spot of Marcus Smart versus Drew Holiday. And, in years past, I would say Drew wins this matchup. But the way that Marcus Smart's been playing, I believe in the closeout game, he dropped 20 points and 11 assists. He already won Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, to me, that is pretty equal, man. That is pretty equal, if not, right now giving the nod towards Marcus Smart, but I feel like both these guys are actually pretty similar with their style of plays, and it's going to be fun watching them both go at it. And once again, too, as we go through these matchups, keep in mind that it's not all about head-to-head matchups. Both teams are great defensively. Both teams, you're going to see a lot of cases where the best player is playing defense on the best player and everything, but and you get like switchability and things along those lines, but we're kind of keeping just like head to head to kind of keep it simple. But yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. So the next matchup we have is Jaylen Brown versus Wesley Matthews. So Wesley Matthews is kind of like the plug-in shooting guard here. While he does start, you get guys like Grayson Allen and Pat Connaughton that are going to be playing the bulk of the minutes, at that shooting guard spot. But overall, Jaylen Brown clears that matchup for Wesley Matthews. If Wesley can knock down some catch and shoot threes, he'll be good to go in that regard, and he'll be contributing to the team how we kind of expect him to do so. And then you get an interesting one here, man. And this is where the switchability part is going to come in handy. And that's going to be Jason Tatum versus Bobby Portis. Yes, Bobby Portis has been playing the small forward position. It's crazy, man. We saw Lauri Markkanen playing some small forward for the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're starting to see a lot of these 6'11", 7-foot players that are typically, Bobby Portis can do a little bit in the post and stuff like that, but typically, like a three-point shooter and stuff, and that's what he's going to kind of be operating like. So that's kind of interesting, man, because I feel like with Bobby Portis, I would put Jason Tatum on him. I would not put Tatum on Giannis just because I don't want, Tatum to get exhausted playing against Giannis, but also at the same time, with Bobby Portis, it's like Tatum can kind of stick to him on the perimeter, help out when he can, but, if Bobby Portis puts the ball on the floor and starts trying to get around him or something, you can switch that real quick, man. So, yeah, that matchup obviously goes towards Jason Tatum, but let's also pay respects towards Bobby Portis, who can turn up in the playoffs at any moment and definitely get his baskets out there, right? And then we get Al Horford versus Giannis. So no doubt, man, is this one going to be Giannis right here? And Giannis is going to have a hell of a series. Like, he just is. I mean, it's funny, like, listening to people talk about guys like Giannis or Joel Embiid or really any superstar when it comes to playoff matchups, because people will be like, well, they got nobody on their team that's going to stop Embiid, or they got nobody that's going to stop Giannis. Nobody does. That's why these guys are MVP caliber players, because no matter what you do, they are going to go out there and average 30 points per game, and I fully expect Giannis to do this in the series, but at the same time, I don't think it's going to be easy. I think you look at anybody in the starting five, and all of them could put a body on Giannis at least. I mean, Giannis is still going to get his, going to get a lot of players in foul trouble, but once again, like, the switchability is going to be fun to watch, and while I get that the Celtics defense was able to clamp up Kevin Durant and also, Kyrie Irving, the way those guys score the basketball is a bit different than Giannis. Giannis is more about like imposing his will on the opposite team and everything like that. And it's gonna be fun seeing that adjustment. It's gonna be fun seeing if that defense can, adjust to how Giannis plays to an extent where they can somehow limit him. But I don't know, man. Like, really brings me back down to the 2004 Detroit Pistons LA Lakers matchup. And, the Pistons' plan at that time was they were going to lock up Kobe and let Shaq do his thing. So it could be a similar case, and the reason I say that is because, once again, the Celtics defense, man, it reminds me of that 04 Pistons defense, like, straight up. So it could be a similar case where it's like, okay, like, we'll allow Giannis to do what he wants to do to an extent, but we're going to stop everybody else, which makes it a lot easier when you don't have guys like Chris Middleton on the court. And then you got the matchup of Robert Williams versus, Brook Lopez. And, once again, I feel like a broken record. It's going to come down to the switchability and everything like that, like what Brook Lopez is positioning himself to do in the moment. Because, I think generally speaking, you want Robert Williams kind of in the paint, being that interior presence. But we also know Brook Lopez, who does have the post moves, but he also has a capable three-point shot. So I think, once again, if you got him out on the three-point line, maybe put one of the forwards on him switching, and that allows Robert Williams to just kind of remain in the paint as that intimidating presence, hopefully, man, to stop Giannis. I know I'm kind of talking like a Celtics fan, and that's because if you guys check out over on my Twitter account, ChrisFlakes2K, I'm rooting for the Celtics in the playoffs just because, man, I'm a Pistons fan and I haven't gotten the root in the playoffs for a good team in a long time. So it's been kind of fun with that. But beyond that, man, I got my Twitter account pulled up at ChrisFlakes2K, and I actually asked you guys for some of your takes on the series. So we're going to go through this real quick here. Also, I just ordered a thing. You guys will see it soon. You'll see it soon, man. But, where are we at? So, here we go. I said, give me some hot or normal takes for the series for a chance to be in the video. And here's the chance here, man. So we got TNT Mikey saying, normal take, with Middleton out for this series, the Celtics will beat the Bucks in 6 or 7 games. Personally speaking, I do have the Celtics winning the series. Now, my mind could have changed if Milton was healthy, but I think it's a huge difference, man. I really think so. And I think the Celtics win in 6. I think they win in 6. If Giannis goes, Super Saiyan out there, that's Dragon Ball Z, right? Super Saiyan is what they say. You know what I'm saying about Super Saiyan? I probably messed up that reference. Then yeah, I can see it going to 7 games, but it's gonna be a fun series here, man. We got Nate saying Brook Lopez will be the Bucks' second leading scorer. Yo, if that's the case, they getting swept. They getting swept, man, straight up. We got Johnny saying Middleton being out is a lot bigger of a deal than people realize. For some reason, this man cooks us like Steph whenever he plays us. That talking about, Milton against the Boston Celtics, and that's a really good point here, man. We got Riley saying the combination of Tatum and Robert Williams boxes Giannis to 25 points per game or less. The bench wings from Milwaukee end up playing a bigger role than Drew Holiday, and the Celtics take it in 5 or 6. I mean, straight up, Pat Connaughton and Grayson Allen and Wesley Matthews, those 3-guard trios, they are all going to have to play efficient and take smart shots and make every single one of them count to make up for somewhat of what, Milton does out there. But I know Grayson Allen definitely can get hot, and I do expect, for a game or two, we'll probably get us 20-plus points. But, yeah, man, it should be a fun series. I'm looking forward to it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.